Have you ever paused before pouring yourself a glass of milk, wondering if your body still benefits from it as much as it did decades ago? Many of us grew up believing milk was the ultimate staple for strong bones and a balanced diet. Yet as the years pass, we might feel uncertain about whether we can or should keep drinking it every day. Some notice an unsettled stomach or a gurgling feeling they never had before. Others simply find they don't crave it like they used to. If you've been wrestling with these doubts, you're not alone. This conversation matters more than you might think because the way we digest or struggle to digest, milk holds a key to understanding our overall digestive enzyme health. By tackling this concern, you can safeguard not only your comfort, but also maintain the dignity and independence that come from feeling in control of your body's daily functions. For many individuals in their mid-60s, 70s, and beyond, questions about nutrition are far more nuanced than they once were. You've likely heard all sorts of messages about what's healthy or unhealthy over the years, and these messages can conflict. One day, dairy is touted as essential for strong bones. The next, we're told it might be better to avoid it if it causes bloating or discomfort. And when you turn to the internet for clarity, the sheer volume of information, some of it contradictory, can make your head spin. That's why we're going to dig deeper here, focusing on what the body itself might be telling you. Understanding how your digestive enzymes work as you age isn't just about avoiding discomfort. It's about harnessing the resources you already have to live each day fully. Whether that means keeping up with a weekly dance class or enjoying leisurely neighborhood strolls, you deserve to make choices that support your active, fulfilling lifestyle. We'll walk through 4 key areas that will help you decide if daily milk consumption is still in your best interest. We'll examine how digestion changes with age, what lactose intolerance actually looks like versus just having minor sensitivities, and what options exist if cow's milk no longer sits well with you. We'll also explore a more holistic approach, one that integrates your personal preferences, dietary needs, and sense of self-sufficiency. You'll see that this isn't just about deciding yes or no to milk. Instead, it's about understanding your body's signals, embracing alternatives when needed, and preserving the sense of independence that comes from knowing you can adapt your habits without sacrificing the foods and experiences you love. As a holistic wellness advisor, I've seen firsthand how even small dietary shifts can lead to remarkable improvements in comfort, mobility, and mood, all while honoring who you are at this stage of life. Of course, always remember to consult with your healthcare provider about any major changes to your diet, especially if you have underlying conditions or medications that need attention. By the end of this discussion, you'll come away with a deeper understanding of your digestive system, practical tips to help you decide whether and how to include milk in your diet, and a renewed confidence that you can keep moving forward. Literally and figuratively, no matter your age. So, grab a seat, get comfortable, and let's explore the possibilities. Feel free to reflect on your own experiences as we go along, perhaps even jotting down notes or questions. Your voice matters here. After all, this is about you, your health, your independence, and your choice. Now let's dive into what it really means to drink milk daily after 65, and how the answer might just reveal a lot about how gracefully your digestive enzymes are aging. Let's start by challenging a long-held assumption about milk being universally good or bad. Many of us grew up in an era when the food pyramid placed dairy at the center of a healthy diet. We were told that if we wanted strong bones and teeth, a daily glass of milk was non-negotiable. But for Sharon, who is now 72, that one-size-fits-all advice stopped making sense a few years ago. Sharon lived her entire life enjoying milk in her morning coffee, her cereal, and sometimes even as a soothing beverage before bed. She never questioned it until her body began sending her signals. Sharon started experiencing mild stomach cramps and frequent bloating. At first, she chalked it up to just another sign of getting older. A friend suggested it might be lactose intolerance, which Sharon brushed off because she'd never had issues with dairy before. "I've drunk milk my entire life," and she would say, "it can't just start bothering me now." But this belief that if you've digested milk easily in your younger years, you'll always be able to handle it, might overlook the natural shifts our bodies undergo over time. Here's the reality. As we age, our bodies can produce fewer enzymes, including lactase, the enzyme that helps break down lactose, the main sugar in milk. This decline can happen gradually and, for some, might only lead to subtle changes like mild discomfort or gas. For others, it can trigger more pronounced symptoms that mimic what you'd consider true lactose intolerance. Yet even these symptoms don't necessarily mean you must eliminate dairy altogether. Instead, it highlights that your digestive system is in flux, and paying attention to it is vital for maintaining comfort and independence. In Sharon's case, she decided to experiment. After speaking with a trusted healthcare provider, she tried reducing her daily milk intake rather than cutting it out completely. She noticed less bloating and more energy, especially in the afternoons when she used to feel sluggish. Sharon's story illustrates something important. A small tweak can yield big improvements in how we feel day to day. By respecting her body's new signals, she avoided turning milk into an all-or-nothing debate and maintained her sense of control over her food choices. She also discovered that her bones weren't going to suddenly become brittle if she cut down on a glass or two of milk. She could get calcium from other sources and keep milk in moderation. For those who continue to drink milk without any discomfort, the news can be equally empowering. If you aren't noticing signs like bloating, cramps, or urgent trips to the bathroom, your enzymes may be functioning just fine. The overarching lesson is that the answer to, "Can I still drink milk every day?" isn't black and white. It requires mindful observation of your body's cues, a process that can reinforce your sense of autonomy in a world where so many decisions about our health feel out of our hands. If you've been following along and thinking, "I do sometimes feel queasy after my bowl of cereal," or "I've noticed I'm not as comfortable when I have that glass of milk before bed," consider giving your diet a mini audit. Try spacing out your dairy intake rather than having it all at once. Notice if that eases your digestion. This simple step is a testament to your own resilience and adaptability, allowing you to make choices that support both your physical health and emotional well-being. Recognizing that your body is evolving can actually be a reminder of how wise it's become. You've garnered decades of experience, and you're far more attuned to subtle changes than you realize. Listening to your body's signals now can help you keep enjoying the activities and freedoms you value most. The next misconception many of us share is that lactose intolerance is the same thing as lactose sensitivity, and that any hint of stomach upset means a permanent divorce from dairy. This confusion can cause unnecessary alarm. George, age 68, found himself in exactly that predicament. He was at a friend's house for a holiday dinner and indulged in mashed potatoes, gravy, creamy soup, and homemade ice cream for dessert. That night, he experienced major bloating and discomfort, which led him to conclude, "Well, that's it. No more dairy for me. Guess I've developed lactose intolerance." He started avoiding not just milk, but cheese, yogurt, and even butter entirely. What George didn't realize was that he might have had a temporary sensitivity triggered by consuming large amounts of dairy all at once, plus a host of other rich foods. It was an exceptional meal, and his body simply struggled with the volume of lactose and fats combined in a single sitting. True lactose intolerance usually presents more consistently, with noticeable symptoms every time you consume even moderate amounts of milk or certain dairy products. A sensitivity, on the other hand, can be dose-dependent or influenced by other dietary factors. In fact, some people do well with cheese or yogurt, since these often have lower lactose levels, but not with fluid milk. When George did a bit more research and checked in with his doctor, he learned that small portions of dairy might still be fine for him. He tested this by adding just a splash of milk to his coffee, a small piece of cheese at lunch, or a dollop of yogurt with breakfast. To his surprise, those smaller servings didn't trigger the same digestive drama he experienced at the holiday feast. Over time, he discovered a comfortable balance, enough dairy to enjoy the flavors and nutrients he liked, without the uncomfortable consequences. The practical takeaway here is to experiment thoughtfully. If you suspect lactose intolerance, keep a simple food diary for a couple of weeks. Track how much dairy you consume, note any symptoms, and pay attention to other foods you eat alongside it. This method can help you pinpoint what's truly causing issues. Maybe you'll find that a small glass of milk is perfectly manageable, but big portions back-to-back cause problems. Or you might discover that you react only when you combine dairy with certain other foods that are hard to digest. This detective work can be incredibly empowering. Rather than letting fear or confusion dictate your decisions, you become the active agent in your dietary choices. From an emotional standpoint, clarifying whether it's genuine lactose intolerance or a milder sensitivity can do wonders for your sense of autonomy. Many older adults feel nervous about losing the freedom to eat their favorite foods, as if each year inevitably subtracts a little more from the "yes, I can enjoy that" list. By recognizing that not all digestive discomfort equals a total ban on dairy, you open up possibilities. You can still relish that piece of cheese alongside a cracker or savor a small bowl of ice cream on a warm afternoon. Perhaps the portion is smaller than what you had in your younger years, but the joy you derive can remain. This equilibrium underscores the dignity and independence you maintain by staying curious and flexible. Before we move on to the next aspect, take a moment to think about your relationship with dairy in practical terms. Are there particular items, like cream in your coffee or a certain cheese, that you genuinely love and would miss dearly? Are there others you eat more out of habit than actual enjoyment? This reflective pause can guide how you approach your own experiments. By focusing on the dairy products that truly bring joy, you're aligning your choices with your values and taste preferences, making any adjustments feel more natural and less like a sacrifice. Now, you may be someone who recognizes discomfort with milk, but wonders if you really want to give it up altogether. Perhaps you're worried about losing the calcium and protein that dairy is known for providing. The good news is that modern grocery stores offer a wide range of lactose-free or low-lactose alternatives. Gone are the days when lactose-free meant bland, chalky beverages. Today, there are lactose-free milks, yogurts, and even cheese options that taste remarkably similar to their traditional counterparts. Beth, who is 74, was initially skeptical of these products. She had tried a lactose-free milk years ago and found it tasted off. Recently, though, she gave it another shot and was pleasantly surprised. Not only did the flavor meet her standards, but it also eliminated the bloating she had struggled with when consuming regular milk. What makes these alternatives effective is that they're essentially regular dairy products treated with the lactase enzyme beforehand, so the lactose is already broken down by the time you consume it. You still get the familiar taste and nutritional benefits, calcium, vitamin D, protein, without the digestive distress. For individuals who discover they do, in fact, have trouble with lactose, this can be a game changer. Instead of quitting dairy entirely or risking discomfort, you can swap in these options and continue preparing your favorite recipes. Enjoy that creamy soup, mac and cheese, or even homemade pudding without worrying about how it'll affect you later. Then there are non-dairy milk alternatives like almond, soy, oat, or coconut milk. While these aren't dairy and thus come with a different nutrient profile, many of them are fortified with calcium and vitamin D. Some brands offer enough protein to stand shoulder to shoulder with cow's milk in terms of nutritional value. A few older adults I've worked with end up loving these alternatives for reasons they didn't expect. My joints feel less achy, some say, or I like how light it tastes compared to regular milk. It's important to remember that each of our bodies is unique. Some people thrive on these plant-based options. Others still prefer the taste and feel of dairy. The point is to explore and find what resonates with you physically and emotionally. There's a powerful emotional benefit in discovering that you still have choice. If you've been feeling cornered, thinking that you must either suffer through discomfort or abandon milk completely, these alternatives can be quite liberating. They also encourage creativity in the kitchen. Maybe you'll try a new recipe for a plant-based smoothie or discover that oat milk makes your morning coffee creamier than ever. The shift might start with a purely practical motivation to avoid digestive upset, but it can lead to small joys and a renewed sense of possibility. Sometimes it even fosters shared moments with friends or family who are curious to taste what you're experimenting with. These interactions can spark conversation about well-being, aging, and how small lifestyle adaptations make a big difference. A real-world approach is to start slowly. If you've always used cow's milk, choose one alternative to begin with. Use it in the recipes you love or in your daily coffee, and see how you feel. Pay attention to taste, texture, and how your body responds. If it's not the right fit, try another brand or a different type of alternative milk. These minor shifts can be a gentle way to transition if you do find that regular dairy no longer suits you. They can also be an effective backup plan for days when your stomach feels sensitive. Even if you don't abandon regular milk entirely, having options gives you peace of mind, ensuring that you're never stuck without a suitable choice that aligns with both your health goals and your preference for enjoyable foods. Many people worry that exploring alternatives or reducing dairy intake will be time-consuming or costly. While some specialty products might be slightly more expensive, it's worth noting that a lot of supermarkets now carry store-brand versions of lactose-free or dairy-free items at comparable prices. Over time, you might actually save money if you discover that smaller portions are enough to satisfy you, or if you incorporate a variety of foods to meet your nutritional needs. That flexibility can extend to budgeting as well, reinforcing the sense that you're making proactive choices at every level: dietary, financial, and emotional. If you've followed along so far, you may have some fresh ideas about how to navigate milk and dairy. Maybe you're thinking about trying a lactose-free version of your favorite yogurt, or perhaps you're curious about almond milk and how it might taste in your morning cereal. Now is a great time to pause and reflect on what resonates with you. Is there a product or brand you've seen on store shelves that you've always wondered about? Make a mental note, or jot it down, to explore during your next shopping trip. Consider this an invitation to be playful and open-minded. You might stumble upon something that satisfies your taste buds more than you ever expected. Finally, let's broaden the conversation beyond the topic of milk itself and look at how your overall lifestyle can support healthy digestion and enzyme function. Some seniors assume, well, if I can't have milk, I'll miss out on essential nutrients like calcium and vitamin D, and my bones will suffer. This line of thinking often leads to either ignoring the discomfort or resigning oneself to potential deficiencies. But your body is more adaptable than that, and your nutritional needs can be met through a variety of sources, all of which contribute to your continued independence. Take Henry, 77, who noticed that heavy dairy meals left him lethargic and gassy. He worried about osteoporosis because he'd been told repeatedly that dairy is crucial for strong bones. Yet Henry discovered that by incorporating leafy greens, beans, calcium-fortified orange juice, and even tofu into his meals, he could maintain healthy calcium levels. He also took short walks in the sunshine to bolster his vitamin D. Once he balanced these components, not only did his digestion improve, but he noticed he had more consistent energy throughout the day. This extra energy encouraged him to exercise gently, which further strengthened his bones and muscles. In short, he replaced his anxiety with a constructive plan that supported his dignity and autonomy. What's happening here is a holistic synergy. When you support your digestive enzymes by not overwhelming them with foods that cause distress, you free up energy that might otherwise be spent coping with discomfort or fatigue. That energy can go into activities like light strength training, yoga, or even backyard gardening, each of which supports bone density, flexibility, and cardiovascular health. In other words, adjusting your diet might seem like a small move, but it can unlock a range of positive changes across multiple areas of well-being. Moreover, consider that many seniors are on medications that can influence digestion. Some medications alter gut flora or reduce nutrient absorption. Others might affect thirst signals or appetite. By paying attention to your unique combination of diet, activity level, and medication regimen, you create a personalized blueprint for wellness. If you suspect any of your medications might be affecting how you process dairy, it's worth bringing up with your healthcare provider or pharmacist. Working together, you can devise strategies, ranging from slight medication and schedule tweaks to the addition of a probiotic that make digestion smoother. Also, don't underestimate the role of stress in how we digest and absorb nutrients. As we age, stress can manifest differently. It might come from health anxieties, changes in our living situation, or the emotional challenges of staying connected with loved ones. High stress can slow digestion, compound discomfort, and undermine the benefits of even the healthiest diet. So part of your holistic approach might include gentle mindfulness practices, deep breathing exercises, or enjoyable social activities. Each of these can help your body shift into a more relaxed state, supporting better enzyme function and nutrient absorption. By looking at the big picture, diet, movement, stress management, and medication, you empower yourself with an adaptable framework. If you find that your body is truly at odds with dairy, this approach helps you fill any nutritional gaps through alternative foods, supplements if needed, and an active lifestyle. If you discover you can still handle dairy in moderation, or with the help of lactose-free options, you'll still benefit from integrating these healthy habits. In all scenarios, you remain in the driver's seat of your own life, demonstrating that aging can be a time of evolution rather than restriction. At this juncture, think about one practical step you can implement today. Maybe it's as simple as making a meal plan for the week that includes diverse calcium sources. Or perhaps it's deciding to take a 15-minute walk in the sunshine each morning to naturally boost your vitamin D. Each small commitment you make can pave the way for a smoother, more comfortable digestive process, and it underscores the respect and care you're investing in yourself. As we draw everything together, it becomes clear that the question, can you still drink milk daily, isn't just about milk. It's a lens through which we explore how our bodies adapt over time and how we can respond in ways that keep us feeling independent, strong, and vital. If you followed along, you've gained insights into how age-related changes in enzyme production affect digestion, the difference between lactose intolerance and milder sensitivities, the variety of lactose-free or low-lactose alternatives available, and the holistic strategies that allow you to continue living life on your terms. Notice that none of these ideas demand you make a radical overnight overhaul of everything you eat. Rather, it's about informed, gradual adjustments that honor your body's wisdom. If there's one key message to take away, it's this: you have choices. Aging doesn't mean a fixed path of losing options. On the contrary, it's a stage of life when you can harness all your past experiences and newfound knowledge to craft a plan that genuinely serves you. This sense of agency is powerful. It underlines the dignity and independence we all crave, especially when it comes to something as central to daily life as food. Instead of fearing change, you can greet it with curiosity. How will trying this alternative make me feel? Or what if I space out my dairy consumption differently? Or even, could a supplement or a new exercise routine complement my diet? Of course, it's important not to wait until discomfort becomes unbearable or health concerns escalate. It's far easier to fine-tune your daily habits now than to correct more serious issues later. Think of it as a gentle urgency, acting promptly to secure your comfort and maintain the energy and mobility you need to enjoy life's pleasures. At the same time, there's no need to panic. These are manageable shifts supported by a breadth of resources from nutrition guidelines to knowledgeable professionals who can offer personalized input. So envision yourself making one or two small changes this week. Maybe you'll switch to lactose-free milk in your morning cereal, or choose to incorporate a calcium-rich green smoothie a few times a week. See how your body responds. Perhaps you'll notice a lighter feeling, better digestion, or improved energy for daily tasks and enjoyable outings. Even if you don't experience dramatic changes immediately, small improvements can accumulate and help you feel more at ease as weeks go by. If you'd like to engage with this information further, consider telling a friend or a loved one what you've learned. Share your experiments in the kitchen or discuss a new walking route you've taken to get more sunshine. If social media feels comfortable, you might even post a brief note about trying a new dairy alternative and invite others to share their experiences. This fosters a sense of community and mutual support, reminding you that you're not alone in figuring out these questions. As for next steps, you could schedule a chat with a nutrition-savvy healthcare provider or a dietitian who specializes in senior wellness. They can help tailor recommendations to your specific health profile, especially if you're managing conditions like diabetes or heart disease. Or if you're on multiple medications, you can also explore gentle exercise classes in your community, such as yoga or Tai Chi, which complement digestive and bone health beautifully. No matter where you go from here, let this be a reaffirmation that you are capable of guiding your own well-being. You've spent a lifetime gathering knowledge and wisdom. Now is the time to let that experience support you as you adapt your daily habits. Milk is just one example of how your choices can evolve gracefully. By approaching this question with openness and respect for your body's changing needs, you're making a powerful statement. Aging may be inevitable, but the way you navigate it is very much within your control. You deserve health, comfort, and the freedom to keep doing what you love.